G'day YouTube, Turbo Tristan here again. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about something very simple, very basic. It's the easiest mod you can do to your car. It's something that's been covered millions of times, but I'm going to explain in a little bit more detail, and that's drop-in panel filters, the easiest mod you can do to your car. Alright, so here we have quite a standard engine bay. This is a Honda Accord or an Acura TSX for those playing along at home. For the purpose of this video, it doesn't matter what kind of car you have. This one has the standard air intake, the plastic hose, the resonator, which is this bulb here, this big extra tank hanging off the intake tube, the factory airbox, and it's also got the airflow meter here, which is this sensor that's built into the air intake. Now there's a couple of different things you can do when you're upgrading the air intake on your car. One of those is you can add a pod filter and a whole new air intake, and we'll talk about those in just a moment. Or you can do the simplest mod, which is a high flow drop-in panel filter. There's various different brands. I just happen to have K&N ones here. So this particular high flow air filter is made to replace the stock standard one that comes in the car, which is a paper filter. You hold that up to the sunlight, you've got no chance of seeing through that, whereas this one you can see it's high flow. It's got stainless steel mesh here, so it stops all the rocks and particles. These actually can be washed over and over and over again. They have a 1,000,000-mile warranty, which is 1.6 million kilometers for those of you in Australia. And they're really the simplest mod you can do. I'm going to show you how to install this in just a second. Now with the factory ones, again, there's nothing wrong with these, and for a basic standard car you can get away with this just fine. It does restrict a lot of the flow, therefore making the car quieter. It's also made of a different kind of paper material, which again deadens the noise coming from the air intake, because there's a lot of induction roar. That's that roaring noise you get when you replace with a pod or a high flow air intake. But this is, again, it's a muffler for your air intake, plus it's also super restrictive to catch all this kind of dirt. Now this one came out of a car with 60,000 kilometers and full service history, so this would have been already replaced once, and this is probably about 25 to 30,000 kilometers worth of driving, and you can see there it's filthy and putrid and black. This one, the K&N, comes pre-oiled. If you're going to use one of these drop-in filters on a turbocharged car, it's a really great idea to do that as well. Doesn't matter if it's not turbo or if it is turbo, but just make sure on a turbocharged car that there's not too much oil, it's not dripping off. Make sure that, you know, when you rub it on your hands, you can feel it's oily, but it doesn't leave a heap of oil on your hands. And the reason for that is because the airflow meter, which is built into your air intake, when the turbo is sucking air through, it actually sucks the oil with it as well, and that gets on your airflow meter and can cause the car to run really poorly. So a lot of breakup, spluttering. You might change your spark plugs, you might change, you know, other sensors in the car, and you'll find that it's still doing it. It's because this has oil on it. So that's one tip to watch out for if you do have a turbocharged car. Very common if someone does a replacement panel filter in a Subaru. Don't ask me why, they just suck a lot of oil through. So make sure you can give that a clean and just put a little bit of oil. Sometimes they cake it on for the packaging, but that's a tip for you as well. Now the reason why this is the best mod that you can do for your car is the cost, the gain that you get out of it, and how easy it is to do. So the cost is roughly, in Australia, it's around about roughly $100 to buy one of these drop-in filters retail, versus the factory one, which is about $60 every time you need to replace that. So a high flow one for $100 or a restrictive factory one for around about $60, depending on your car. That's just an average. You don't have to buy one of these every 20 or 30,000 kilometers. You can keep that one in the car for the whole life of the vehicle. I doubt you're going to do 1,000,000 miles in your car. So you can keep that for the life of your vehicle. You can rinse it out in the sink, you can let it dry, you can slap it back in, and off you go again, no matter how dirty the filter gets. The performance gain you get extra throttle response because it's less restrictive, you get a nice noise, and in some cases you do pick up a few horsepower or a few kilowatts, depending on your application. There's plenty of dyno results out there that show that you do pick up power from this mod, but mainly the power comes from just freeing up the restriction. It's not making the engine make more power, it's just having less restrictions, therefore giving your car more breathing space and picks up a little bit more power. You do get extra benefits of fuel economy because, again, less restrictions, more air, less fuel. You can get the same amount of power with less fuel because the more airflow. So that's another thing that a lot of people don't tell you about when they're selling you an air intake is if you have a standard vehicle, you don't drive it like a race car driver, and you do replace one of these, the benefit is you're getting extra gas mileage or fuel economy or miles per gallon, however you want to look at it. You can save money on fuel by having less restrictions in your air intake, more air, less fuel, bigger bang, more power, less need to push the throttle down to get to the same speed that you normally would. There's another advantage. And then the third one is the ease of installation. Now I'm just going to show you how simple it is to do this mod, and then we're going to talk about why you would do custom air intakes, pods, things like that in just a moment. So on most cars with a factory airbox, there'll either be these types of clips that you can just flick off with your finger, or on European cars there might be a tech screw, which is that 6-pointed screw that will be in 4 or more locations around the airbox. You're either going to need one very small tool or you're just going to need your finger. In this case with the Honda and in most Japanese cars, you just use your finger. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's it. Simple as that. Then all you do is simply lift up the airbox and drop in the new filter. Just like that, and you're done. Close it down, and then just repeat that in reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's it. Then you've got the simplest mod possible done to your car. One mistake a lot of people make is they want to get a pod filter, so one of these bad boys, and put an open exposed filter there, which is great. It makes a great sound, it looks good, it's a great performance mod. However, after a couple of kilometers of driving or half an hour or an hour, the engine bay is all heated up, the bonnet's closed, the hot air is not rising out of the bonnet, and it's rising straight into your hot air intake, and then that defeats the whole purpose of the mod. You have a hot air intake, you're actually sucking in less air, which means you've got to then use more fuel to get the same performance, and you're actually losing quite a bit of fuel economy. So that is a waste of time in majority of engine bays. You can, however, still run a cold air intake with a pod filter. You'll need to then have some custom pipe work or buy a kit. Now a lot of kits I've seen are anywhere between $100 to $300 or $400 or $500, or if you've got a European car, up to $2,000 for an air intake, when really you can get a lot of those same results just by thinking smart, using your head. As long as this is all intact and it has a straight path straight into the air intake, whether it's a turbo or a naturally aspirated car, that's all you need to worry about. Making sure it's shielded from heat, and making sure the bit down there where it's actually sucking the air in, a nice big opening, it's free of any obstructions, and it's getting cold air from somewhere, usually down in the wheel well or behind the bumper. Anywhere, as long as it's getting some cold air sucked through that's not within the engine bay, then you're definitely going to have an advantage there. But you can do alloy intake pipes, airflow meter, adapters, pod filters, but then you'll need to make a shield. And as cool as it looks and as cool as it sounds, you're actually more than likely in most cases going to actually lose power. Therefore you've spent 3 to 4 times the amount of money and you've got less results. It does look cool though. I'm not sure if this camera is going to pick this up, but you can see there is an air intake duct there leading from the behind the front bumper straight into the airbox. Now that's around about 100mm diameter or 4 inches. And that's getting cold air straight into the airbox. So there's no need to change this. If I wanted a bit more sound, I could replace this with an alloy pipe, or I could block off this resonator. Things like this resonator and this plastic are designed to muffle the sound of the air intake, same with the rubber hose. So if you want a lot of induction raw, that's probably the only reason you would need to then replace this with some metal. Get rid of that. You could have a metal box, or you could put some ducting right down there into the front bumper bar. But I'm sure you'll agree that's a lot of wasted effort for not much result. Now over to my other car, my track car. You can see I'm running a pod here with an alloy intake straight into the turbo. This one, I don't have a lot of room, I don't have a lot of options. I've just got a straight shot of pipe. That cost me for that pipe around about $50, and then the air filter was around about $70. So already it's more expensive than the panel filter drop-in. However, I don't have many options for this. So this is one reason why you would run a pod filter, and you can make your own air intakes, which is what I've done. Now, this is highly illegal. You can't really run this on the street in most countries, but this is my race car. I'll be taking this to the racetrack. I don't drive it on the street very often, if even at all. And certainly after a couple of laps on the track, the turbo's glowing red hot. This has soaked up some heat, and then this will be sucking in hot air. So it's actually going to be a hot air intake. The reason for this is I did need to filter the air going into the turbo, because if I run off the track and rocks fly up, rocks are going to go straight in my turbo. But eventually, if I was going to keep this set up, I could build a shield around there and get some cold air from down behind the headlight, or I could remove the headlight for the track. So there's a few options there. I don't think I'll be keeping this engine set up. It's just an experiment for now, and hopefully we can make some good power out of it once it's tuned. That's your other option. You can get some silicon. Now this stuff's pretty expensive. It's around about $10 per inch. So that piece there is probably around $30, plus the intake, plus the filter. You're already way better off with the panel filter in the Airbox. Alright, so this is the standard Airbox setup from my Honda Civic. This one was actually quite restrictive, but you can still use this and modify this to make it into a great cold air intake. You can stay within the limits of the law. You can get some great performance benefits and sound out of your car. So firstly, it's a little bit different to this one, but throttle body is here. You got your air intake. This is a resonator, so this is again to muffle the noise. Honda Civics are really, really quiet when they're standard. A nice, quiet, comfortable car to drive in. You have another huge resonator box just here. This whole thing is to muffle the noise of the air intake. If you heard a Civic with a pod filter on it, they're actually quite loud for a 1.6 single cam, or even the VTEC twin cam ones. They're really, really loud intake raw. So you can see this resonator is actually probably around about the same size as the actual Airbox. Now the Airbox has a great hole in the bottom. It's 3 inches. The air intake starts off at 3 inches and goes down to around 2.5 inches. But that doesn't really matter because you can't make it any bigger than the throttle body size anyway. And then anyone that knows the Honda Civic EK model or EG, they then have another resonator underneath here. Now I chucked that out because that's just totally useless, but there's another restriction underneath here. So the air comes in from behind the bumper, that's great. And then it goes through another resonator into your Airbox, gets filtered through the restrictive air filter, and then resonated through here to cut down the noise in your intake, and then resonated again through this. What you can do to save a few dollars is again buy a drop-in panel filter. Take this out. A lot of people put like milk bottle lids, or they block that off, which is a great mod. Takes away one resonator, gets you a lot more sound through here. So what you can do also is to ditch this resonator. Now on most cars, particularly this model Honda, is you can undo the screws all the way around, and then this just separates. Then you have your Airbox, which you can keep that, put the high flow air filter in there, get rid of that. It's just a big echo chamber. And then all you'll need to do is get a small piece of hose, or you could even use that and just relocate it, and there you've got your cold air intake. Or you could leave this in the standard spot using the factory bolt holes and just extend that slightly with any hose or pipe that fits. Go down to Bunnings or Home Depot or wherever you are and just extend that. Yeah, happy days. But here's one I prepared earlier. Nice and simple, easy mod. Gets rid of the resonators, gives you a performance increase, gives you a sound increase, gives you a fuel economy increase, doesn't break the bank. You can keep everything standard. You're not going to get defected or pulled over or ticketed by the police. So guys, thanks very much for watching. I know this has been covered a billion times online. There's probably 100,000 videos of every YouTuber's doing an air intake install at some stage throughout their career, but I thought I'd go over it again in a little bit more detail and tell you why you shouldn't waste your money and why you should just leave it like this. If you do have custom parts, custom intake, custom throttle bodies, custom cams, all those types of things, then definitely don't waste your time with this. You'll notice a lot of Volkswagens, Audis, European turbocharged cars, they're still maximizing where they get the air from, which helps improve fuel economy and performance by getting cool air. So the airbox setup on most of those cars draws air over the radiator or from the guard, and it means you're getting cool air all the time. The only restriction is the airbox's resonators and the filter inside. Once you do a tune and upgrade your VW or Audi, things like the rubber hose on the turbo, once it starts to boost a lot, can suck shut and restrict your airflow. That's when you'd need to change that. Whatever you've got, it doesn't really matter, but don't waste your money and don't bother replacing these. Just make sure it's getting air from down in the guard somewhere or behind the bumper. Keep that. The other reason is rubber doesn't soak in the heat so much, and neither does plastic. You're stuck in bumper to bumper traffic every day on the way to or from work in your daily driver. The metal intake and the metal airbox or the open exposed pod's just going to suck hot air. Even when you turn the car off and you go to start it after you've gone out for dinner or to the movies, it might even still be hot. All the piping will still be hot and you'll still be sucking in hot air anyway, so there's really no point to that. Like I said, my turbocharged car, I don't have any options. There's nowhere for an airbox to go on this particular one because it's all custom, but on factory turbocharged cars you can do the same mod. But yeah, there is a time and a place for pod filters. Most of the time it's not on your car. Dyno results have shown you're not picking up really any horsepower at all unless you have all the other supporting mods, which would be cold air intake, different piping, heat shields, all that sort of stuff. So I hope you enjoy the video. Make sure you keep modding your car, keep tuning, don't waste money, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe. It really helps the channel to grow, and we'll see you next time. See ya.